Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and lots to dive into today, especially Steel versus Cloud9's Vanity on the timeline. Some talk about some practice that was leaked behind the scenes. Vanity not particularly happy about the composition they're using on Icebox being leaked to the public, but Steel definitely feels like the way they're playing the game might be indicative of North American practice at large. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel, makes the YouTube algorithm happy as well. Firstly, all this kind of funny from Sentinels. They've done another one of these classic timeline jokes, right? Damn, that's sick. He pointed sick. They're back in business later this weekend. Believe tomorrow, of course, is when the games start up once again in North America and the EMEA Challenger side of things. But well, teams are also playing in other regions. This firstly, the esports connected team we saw quite recently. Kind of when these guys came into effect, well, I think we talked about it maybe a month or so ago. They brought in some pretty big name players from elsewhere in the kind of Asian region. And well, seems like I was going to wonder, okay, esports connected, what even is that name? Like, are they going to stick with this name? Apparently they're going to change to On Slayers. They're going to be rebranded due to a new sponsor. So quite interesting stuff. This was just from the article real quick. This is their team right now. So they picked up Bazzi from Crazy Raccoon. They got Zunba and TS from F4Q and TNL respectively. And then they got from Vision Strikers, of course, God Dead and King Road, which was the big discussion when this initially came into effect. So it was kind of some strange stuff. But yeah, seems like they're going to have some sort of rebrand going on. This also in the North American side. We discussed yesterday that TSM are certainly planning to well, kick things into gear, right? Because of course they want to qualify for the second part of the season, and there's obviously a fair few kind of well, Mickey Mouse tournaments, as people describe them as, going on in addition to kind of the general VCT. So T1, TSM, and Ghost, according to Battlefy, will be competing in the upcoming 9th monthly gauntlet, but also 100 Thieves will be competing as well. This is quite interesting, right? Because T1, TSM, and Ghost, obviously teams that want to try and improve as much as they possibly can, but 100 Thieves in an interesting boat, because we saw what Nadeshot said a few days ago, that to me was kind of like, okay, hang on here, why is the VCT, why are we playing so few games in the VCT? Like, theoretically, if 100 Thieves don't qualify for the playoffs, right, like, they could just play 5 games, the 5 group play games they're going to play here, up against the other 5 teams in their group. They play the Guard this weekend. If they lose to the Guard, they'll be 0-2. Like, there's a very decent chance they don't make it to the playoffs, at which point they've barely played any games at all, right? They've been had many months off at this point. They play like 5 games over 5 weeks, and then they don't even get to play the playoffs. Like, you know, I think a lot of fans are pretty frustrated, right, that they barely get to see their team play. So maybe Nadeshot said, okay, hang on a second, like, for better practice, but also for fans to see our team play more, let's play in some of these Mickey Mouse online tourneys. So 100 Thieves playing in addition to T1, TSM, and Ghost are the teams that are trying to improve. Interesting stuff. And speaking of T1, let's dive into this. So this tweet comes out yesterday from Steel. Scrims versus Cloud9, nice jiggle at zyppan. You guys don't troll though at Vanity at Cloud9. So I guess he's kind of talking about the fact that Vanity says, okay, no, we take things seriously, because of course there's generally the talk in North American practice that are some teams that, well, when they're practicing, they don't take things all that seriously. And maybe Cloud9 has been a team that said, you know, we take things as seriously as some of these North American teams. But well, anyway, he's kind of talking about this zyppan peak. So zyppan just comes flying around the corner right here and then comes back in. I think this is something that can happen due to like ping differentials and stuff like this, that I think people call it ghosting maybe sometimes. But I mean, look, this guy just comes flying out. Like, there's nothing Steel can do to try and kill this guy. But I'm still not really sure zyppan can do this deliberately, or whether it's just something that happens due to ping and the kind of a peaker's advantage, and the combination of both makes things like this happen sometimes. But well, Steel says, you know, you guys don't troll, a nice jiggle at zyppan in the reply. So, well, anyway, Vanity says the following: T1 Steel leaked our iSpots composition, because of course, when you show a clip from scrims, you get to see in the top right-hand corner what players are using what particular agents. Now, I guess the idea is here, like, we can actually look at this on the big screen for you guys real quick. So you can see that on the other side, you've got a KO, you've got a Sova, you've got a Chamber, and it was zyppan using the KO in that case. Now, I guess the idea is that a team like Cloud9 will not be scrimming against the other teams they're going to play against in the challenges. They will instead opt to scrim guys like T1, TSM, the kind of, you know, second, third tier of teams that are still pretty good, but they're not quite in the challenges, right? So therefore, they don't reveal any of their strats to teams they're going to play in the official challenges front. But of course, that's still tweeting this out. He reveals to some degree what their composition is that they're practicing with right now on Icebox. Therefore, the teams that play them in the upcoming challenges front in North America can therefore use that against them. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but still, it is a point of frustration, right, for these guys. That I mean, still, like, these guys shouldn't be releasing what we're planning to use when we play against them in the upcoming Icebox match, because Icebox is a game, it's a map, sorry, that's played in seemingly pretty much every single series at this point. We see an awful lot of Icebox, and therefore the teams that play against Cloud9 will now get some additional information on what they happen to be using in their matches and what their composition is going to be into this game, which players are using which particular agents, and then, well, Steel kind of releases this to the public for free. Now, of course, maybe other teams could have predicted this anyway, right? It might not be the biggest deal in the world, but still, Vanity doesn't seem to be particularly happy about it. There was was also this that Vanity tweeted out, basically just like a troll. It's super sarcastic, right? But trolling in scrims, is this the future of NA Valorant? Very utterly disappointed at Cloud9 here. Can't believe they would do such a thing. No longer support these paycheck stealers. We'll move on to EU instead, right? So kind of just baiting, I guess, about maybe someone said this in the reply and he just copy and pasted it because I thought it was pretty entertaining. Now, well, this is some further replies to this thread. So as Vanity says, mate, I've never claimed not to troll scrims. You are so bad, right? So maybe you're like, well, as Seal said, we kind of talked about maybe you're saying Cloud9. These guys say that they don't really troll in practice, but it turns out they do. But Vanity's kind of denying that statement. Stop crying. You wouldn't have made it through opens if you didn't have a direct invite. So, like, I'm sure there's some, tongue-in-cheek type stuff going on here, but certainly seems like a little bit of something between the two of them, right? Of course, Cloud9 probably would have made it through the opens because, well, Seal and the T1 guys, obviously that didn't happen. And maybe if they hadn't made it, they wouldn't have been playing Cloud9 right here, especially if they were in the same group, right? Which, of course, that wouldn't necessarily have to be the case. But, yeah, this also from babybay I thought was kind of interesting. My man's hit the standby button on his router because, he comes flying around the corner once again, this kind of crazy jiggle peek that zyppan manages to pull off. And as Seal says, can I leak your composition to show this drone I did? 2 tags on the Viper fully lagged out. So he's basically saying, look, like, do you guys mind if I leak your composition to the timeline? Because, clearly Vanity wasn't too happy about him leaking Cloud9's here on the timeline as well. So I guess he's asking permission this time from FaZe babybay to do exactly the same thing, because I guess another team that makes sense for them to be scrimming right now. A few other things to mention here before we finish out the video. Lots of talk, about compositions really, and as Leaf says from the Cloud9 side, the year's 2022, people have ranked C Ascent and still lock in Reign instead of KO. North America is absolutely doomed. So yeah, lots of talk about compositions on certain maps, how things are going to change. It is, I'm very excited actually to see a lot of use from Chamber. Like, definitely this agent seems to have found a very nice place in the meta right now, especially in the North American side. I think we saw some stats a few days ago that in North America, Chamber is very highly used. In other regions, not quite as much as of yet. Definitely an agent that kind of fits with the playstyle generally for a lot of these North American teams. And well, we saw Cloud9 trying to use him there on Icebox to good effect. So exciting stuff. I think an exciting agent to watch as well. The traps are very good. The teleport is good. The weapons are very powerful as well. The ult is exciting. Like, there's a lot of good things that I think about Chamber, right? It makes sense why a lot of teams are going down this direction. But yeah, KO and of course the Yoru buff is coming into effect very soon indeed. Thought this is kind of funny from Sword Gaming actually. It's almost like Valorant wants Oberd to be bullied. Like, Yoru's having a few words to say here to Oberd. Like, what a hero joke buff, I don't get it. And here he is. It's a tough time for Omen fans right now. But of course, we did see that Yoru rework coming very soon indeed. Struggled to say that for some reason. And yeah, he's getting buffed to a significant degree. Omen, though, he's in a tough spot right now. So yeah, still, lots of work, I think, to be done on these agents going forward. It is tough to actually figure out when you drop these updates because, of course, there's challenges going on a lot of the time right now. You don't really want to change things going into the playoffs. And then after the playoffs, like, the Masters aren't too far about that. Like, do you really want to change the meta going into the Masters, right? Bit of an interesting question. So maybe they'll leave the Omen update for quite some time, but it would be interesting to know what they really plan to do with him. And then also, just to finish out with this, especially from the North American Challengers front, the team of the week that Esports put together. Definitely, well, players to keep your eyes on going forwards, because version 1, they had a great week. Pretty sure they dominated the Knights this week. Zelsis and Whippy statistically were out of control. Then also definitely valid on the guard. He was a monster. Of course, you got Trent over there. You've got Net over there. I really think 100 Thieves were in a difficult time this Sunday up against the guard. If they honestly, if they beat the guards, I'll be pretty impressed. Zepp also right here, of course. Well, we were talking about Zepp earlier in this video, and then Cry ourselves from the XZ side. He was a bit of a monster as well this week. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Tell us the YouTube gods, this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I hope grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
Walczy o życie, po raz kolejny, jak na razie ta walka. Po jednej, po drugiej stronie zawsze się udawała. Teraz Hasa z trafieniem, ale Alive i Pong dają eliminację. Resident również z fragiem. I czy Rauzik będzie bohaterem? Jeden frag zabezpieczony, wciąż 3, żeby zakończyć ewentualnie to starcie. Jest drugi. Jest! Rauzik to zrobił! Jakim cudem! Absolutnie nie mam pojęcia, ale 4 fragi domykają nam to starcie. I Entropik z 19 punktem, który daje im zwycięstwo w tej serii best of 3.
Here we go.
Not on the ramp, there's a trip.
She's running the back
I'm on
corner.
backside.
Grounded.
Oh baby, keep it going. We're gonna okay, go ahead.
No, we gotta kill this guy.
Wait, let our jet kill him.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. That boy did.